Joining me now for reaction to this, CEO of American Federation for Children, Tommy Schultz, and the Director of Policy at American Principles Project, John Schweppe. Gentlemen, good to see you both. John, I'm going to start with you on this. Your thoughts on ending the Department of Ed and how I kind of jogged back and took a look at how we got here, reminding everybody the race to the top.
Yeah, well, Democrats aren't very good at dealing with sunk costs, but I can tell you, having had a car that was a beater for a long time, eventually you just keep pouring money into it and it's not doing very much. And that's where we are with the Department of Education. You know, a third of kids are now not reading or doing math at grade level. Our schools are a disaster. And as you pointed out, you know, the point of education to some of these left-wing activists seems to be indoctrination, not actually preparing kids with a real liberal education. And so I think this is a great idea. You know, it's going to be great to see Marjorie Taylor Greene, who you know, was ousted from her committees previously. Now she gets to chair her own subcommittee. I think she's going to come after this stuff with a scalpel. It's going to be pretty good.
Tommy, I saw you had a smile on your face after I read through that. What do you think?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I mean, Linda McMahon coming in to run the Department of Education, I mean, she ran a revolutionary company. Our education system needs a revolution, like you talked about. We're spending $1 trillion a year, and our test scores have been flat since the 1970s. The Department of Education shouldn't exist. Senator Round's bill is a really good way to skin this cat. You're essentially unwinding all these duplicative functions, or you're placing the current functions, everything from civil rights office procedures into Department of Justice, or you're taking things like individuals with disabilities, you're putting that stuff in Health and Human Services, all of these things that you unwind on top of the really big ticket item, which is student loans, right? The federal government within the Department of Education is holding a $1.7 trillion student loan balance. That's the 5th largest bank in America if you were to structure it by assets. It's really unbelievable. That should all be at Treasury. And then the bill essentially says at the end of the day, you just wind things down after 180 days. You end the department because it's this hollow shell, really, with just a lot of bureaucrats hanging around that will probably all get a job at the teachers' unions not too long afterwards.
I have no doubt. John, your thoughts? I mean, this is basically what he's laying out, the roadmap here, is decentralizing it. And to the point I was making of, you know, when it's all spread out here, that core that they're trying to implement and put in, that goes away.
Yeah, and I think Linda McMahon is the right person to do this. I mean, she's a change agent. You know, she's exactly the type of brawler you want in there to do this. And, you know, I think we've had, as conservatives, a lot of false promises over the years of doing away with the Department of Education, of decentralizing and giving the power back to not just states, but to local communities, to parents. And I think Trump is very serious about this. I think that's why you're seeing Elon and Vivek getting involved. And I think that's why he picked Linda McMahon. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah, another thing I want to point out, Senator Rounds also wrote, we all know local control is best when it comes to the education. We know our kids best. People at home know their children best, not D.C. We saw how the election played out, how big it was tilted towards Kamala Harris there. Tommy, John, we got to run, though, gentlemen. Thanks for coming on.